Hey Tiffany, so I looked over your lesson plan and here's my feedback for lesson plan 4, your argumentative writing. This is fantastic. I'm not kidding you, like really good. I think it's a really appropriate chunk of material for a 50-minute lesson plan. I think it's really appropriate new content knowledge to put on top of their previous content knowledge, okay? So, right, clearly this comes straight from the standards, okay? And I like the questions that you're asking of them globally and content area wise, all right? I think your students will be able to is nicely done, okay? There's one piece in here, determine effective over ineffective appeals, that I didn't see a whole bunch of in this lesson plan, and I'll tell you where I think that could fit in a little bit. But other than that, like this is really well aligned, okay? Clearly you're doing some discussion-based pieces and some stuff on the board before you have them do their summative, which is letter to parents. Really authentic writing, nice job, okay? I like the fact that you're thinking about differentiation for some students, all right? And I did scroll down, look at the appendix for the statements, okay? So, good. Statements on the board, so you allow them to experience before you label. Beautiful. Next, talk about persuasion, talk about a type of argument, talk about why it's important. Perfect. So you've experienced, you've labeled, you've nailed down the why, okay? And I love a little bit of humor that you have in here too. Like, please, 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 when we ask our moms and they say no. Perfect, okay? All right. And I did see your notes below, so that you're specifically going to go over, here's the definition of logos, here's an example, definition, example, all right? Again, you're labeling and driving home the importance of why, okay? Moving on to the formative assessment, you're giving the kids 2 statements. They're deciding which one is logos, pathos, pardon me, and then doing kind of a game with it. Perfect. Before you move them to the independent practice, that's for their parents. All right. Now I'm going to scroll all the way back up. Okay. So you put in here recognizing types of appeals. You definitely have that. Here's 2. Identify. You have used pathos and logos in writing to persuade a parent. You have that. Here's the one I didn't necessarily see. Determine effective over ineffective appeals, all right? So someplace in this lesson plan, after you've had them experience and label, okay? So right around in here, you play your pathos logos game. Read 2 statements, put up on the board which is which. Add another bullet point to number 4 where you have, okay, now that everyone's really getting a gauge for pathos versus logos, what do you think? Which one is more interesting? Which one is more appealing? And hopefully, right, what you're guiding them towards is to think about audience appeal. Well, it totally depends on who you're talking to and what the situation is. I can see this sentence here working for these people. I can see this sentence here working for these people. Nice. Then you have that evaluative piece in there, okay? Other than that, Tiffany, this is beautiful. Beautiful, and I love all the example sentences you came up with too. Nicely done.